Yeah, and apparently Dorota's baby kicks out of time and sloppily because she kicks like Lars Ulrich from Metallica.
Shots fired.
Shots fired.
Hey, Upper East Siders and all you scandal-loving listeners out there. You just tuned into the Non-Judging Breakfast Pod, where the coffee is strong, the waffles are fresh, and the gossip is hotter than ever. My name is Leif, and I'm your seasoned Gossip Girl veteran.
And I'm Steve, the newbie, the greenhorn, I don't know, Leif, we're in season 3. What am I now?
You whore and a half. You just couldn't keep it in your pants, could you?
Well, Leif, it wasn't me, because I'm in love with your uncle.
Okay.
So here's the deal, folks. Leif has been watching Gossip Girl since it first aired, and I'm diving in for the first time. And together, we're your dynamic duo, bringing you all the drama, romance, and sometimes questionable fashion choices of this iconic 2007 series.
Bring your magnifying glasses, because each week we're dissecting every juicy detail of the show, one episode at a time. We'll connect the dots, uncover those sneaky little Easter eggs, and of course, serve up some piping hot behind-the-scenes tea. And expect some iconic Phantom moments too, because what's a deep dive without a little drama?
And since we are all about inclusivity here at the Non-Judging Breakfast Pod, there is always a seat for you at the Non-Judging Breakfast table. So go ahead and grab your mimosa, a cup of coffee, or roll up something from Chuck's stash, and let's go ahead and get into this.
All right, Steve. June is guest month because we got another guest today. We are here with actor, producer, and podcast host Danielle Joy.
Yay!
Hi, everyone. Hi.
Welcome to the podcast.
Yes, welcome to the Non-Judging Breakfast table.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
And so we do ask this for everyone, but it's a little more interesting with in your case. But what is your relationship with Gossip Girl?
Oh, man. So I actually worked on the show in various capacities, but you'll be seeing me in this episode.
That's really fun. And we definitely were spotting for you the entire time.
Yes, I did admit that I went a little Joe Goldberg on your Instagram, and I found the picture of you from 10 years ago.
Very appropriate you reference with Penn Badgley, by the way.
Yes. So we both have our guesses. I don't know if you want to say now or if you want to wait till we get to the scene to reveal.
Oh, you can. It's up to you guys.
Why don't we
No,
guess now, and then when you're actually in it, you tell us if we're right or if we're wrong.
Sure. Yeah, that works. Yeah.
So I was thinking you are the third Columbia student.
Yeah, I was thinking, because I was torn. There were two people that I kind of was torn on. And of course, I'm going only from your Instagram as well. I was torn between, there was one of the models that I thought could have been you. There was also the same one that Leif was just talking to that was in the scene with Marissa Fumero and the other Columbia student. So those were my two guesses that I thought I saw.
Do you want me to confirm or deny?
Let's wait till we get to the scene. And then
Okay.
you can figure it out.
Yeah, and
Those
then
are good
when we
guesses,
get to
though.
some
Very good guesses, gentlemen.
some other scene, she'd be like, "You idiots! I was
dare you."
Lily's stunt double."
A little bookkeeping before we get into the episode. A few episodes ago, I did mention I was going to look up when Penn Badgley and Blake Lively broke up. It was announced by Us Weekly. It was confirmed in their October of 2010 issue, which would have been the beginning of season 4 shooting.
Yeah. Okay, that tracks.
Now, Green Lantern fell between March and August of 2010.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, that was my next question.
Now, I'm guessing Blake was probably not at all of that because she was a fairly small part in the movie. So I guess she probably went after Gossip Girl ended filming, which, if I recall, was probably like April-ish was when you guys usually ended. Does that sound right, Danielle?
Yeah. I remember we started in like July and we would usually finish. It was a good 9 to 10 months of filming for each season. Yeah.
Yeah, she had a small role in the movie, but a big role in Ryan Reynolds' heart. So.
Yes. So we are here to talk about season 3, episode 16, The Empire Strikes Jack. The original air date was March of 2010.
I feel like there's a familiarity with this title.
Yeah.
I feel like I recognize this one from somewhere.
Yeah. It does sound
obviously
familiar.
Star Wars reference.
Yeah.
For those that don't know, that have been living under a rock for the last 40 years.
And
I do love what they do with all the titles, though. They always make them very clever.
Yeah,
Yes.
the great movie references and always a lot of fun. And Leif and I are also big Star Wars nerds too, in different capacities. He shook his head because
Yes, we are.
I always wondered if they came up with the titles first and then like wrote the story around the title, because it always sort of has to do with what's happening in the show, or if they wrote the stories and then tried to find a title that would work.
Well, sometimes the titles really have nothing to do with the show. And I guess probably sometimes they came up with the titles first, but I know for a fact that they definitely came up with them after the fact sometimes. Like, for instance, the episode before the writer's strike in season 1 was the name of the episodes came up with by the crew because the writers were already on strike. So they couldn't name it.
Yeah, thin line between Chuck and Nate.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I was going to kind of say the same thing as Leif. I feel like there's kind of a mix of those things happening, because sometimes the title feels really shoehorned, but other times it feels just absolutely appropriate. Personally, I like this one. I thought
It was perfect. Yeah.
it was a perfect title.
Super appropriate. Yeah.
And we'll get to it, but I thought the final scene actually did kind of mirror the final scene of Empire Strikes Back as well.
Yeah.
Oh.
I could see that. Like, it's the opposite. I am your father.
Yeah.
No, the actual final scene where Luke and Leia are on the ship.
Oh, right.
It's,
Yeah.
Blair and Chuck.
Eh,
Yeah.
Yeah, this week you got Blair and Chuck declaring war.
Yeah.
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 So this episode was written by Jake Coburn. He came on as story editor in season 3, and this is his second chance at writing. Previously did episode 6, Enough About Eve, which was the episode where Blair and Vanessa were competing for the speech at the freshman dinner.
Yeah.
And the episode was directed by Joe Lazarev. Previously did Oh Brother, Where Bart Thou? And How to Succeed in Bassness.
Yeah. I like the I like the director's credits more than the writer's credits here. I think that those are some good. Oh Brother, Where Bart Thou was a great episode.
Now, I'm not complaining, but I did notice more than the usual background gratuitous nearly nudity in this episode.
Well, they had the models.
Yeah. But that, I mean,
anytime you have models.
they don't usually just show. They don't really show that like the girl just walking around in their underwear. They don't typically show that on a CW show.
Yeah.
So I thought it was definitely noticeable to me.
Definitely one of the more sexy episodes.
Yeah.
There's also this episode, some of the outdoor shots. There were some really cinematic. There's some really cinematic framing in some of the outdoor shots in this. Especially there's one with Chuck in front of the bridge. I don't know if it's the Brooklyn Bridge, but
yeah, the bridge. Yeah, I think it was the Brooklyn Bridge with his mom, right?
Well, it's right after. There's that scene, and then right after she leaves, when he's on the phone and the sun has set, and it's just that glow behind him. Like, the cinematography in this was well done. This episode,
yeah.
If only the writing.
Yeah, they hardly ever filmed outside. I don't want to say that though. We did film outside a lot, but yeah, most of the time we were on location or on sound stages. So yeah.
Yeah,
The outdoor shots were always really nice.
By this time, anytime there was filming outside, there was large crowds.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. And so that makes sense also why those shots stood out so much, too. That's a really good point.
Steve, why don't you go ahead and read us that Vulture recap?
All right, here we go. I believe in second chances, Eleanor Waldorf tells the delinquent Jenny Humphrey when welcoming her back to work in her fashion sweatshop. It's an interesting choice of phrasing. Second chances are something one needs to believe in, since, like true love and astrology, some suspension of common sense is required. After all, most of the time the result is disappointment. If someone doesn't behave the way you hope they will the first time around, what are the chances they'll completely change? In last night's episode, Jenny, despite ingesting a large quantity of pharmaceuticals, managed to not disappoint Eleanor, at least not yet. Chuck Bass, however, did not fare so well, even though he knew Elizabeth willingly participated in a cruel and inhuman plot to rob her estranged son of his fortune out of love for a man who is not only a blatant jerk, but a possessor of the worst hairpiece since Sam Donaldson. He gave her the chance to rally to his defense, or at least stick around and mother him, and was left red-nostriled and quivering. Her failure to come through on this front, more than anything she'd done so far, should have tipped him off to the fact that this stubborn loner was, indeed, his mother.
Oh, check.
Here's my thing about the Vulture Report this week. It doesn't even mention the Dan Vanessa train wreck plot going on.
Why would you mention it? It was
It's just completely pointless. It was a nothing story.
It was so bad.
Oh, it was so bad.
So Leif and I have a common saying about Gossip Girl, and it's that we feel like the writers a lot of times would be great writing teachers. That they have these great tools and great tricks, and they know the right way to do twists and right way to put things out, but then the execution itself a lot of the time just kind of falls flat. That when it actually comes to the words on paper, there's a lot of times that it's like, you had all of this right here, and this is what you went with. You know, and Dan and Vanessa is what you went with. The Rut episode.
And I feel like when the show came out, I was in my 20s, right? And it had such a chokehold on everyone, 18 to 34. And, fashion was inspired. And like, I definitely dressed like Blair Waldorf when the show came out. But yeah, I watching it back now, I'm like, wow, these storylines are like, I wouldn't put up with this as a person in the dating world. Like, why did I think that this was so sexy and appropriate back then? But I feel like the actors did such a good job with the words they were given and the script they were given to not make it seem as downer as it was.
Yes, the actors often carry the show.
Yeah, they definitely chose the right people for this show.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Leighton Meester is one of the best actors to come from this show too. I thought
her and Penn and Ed are my favorites.
I also think that Eleanor Margaret Collins and Kelly Rutherford I think are also just absolutely spectacular. They can just own any scene they're in, even when they're not trying to. So
100%. Yeah. I heard. I was listening to one of your most recent podcasts that just aired, and you were saying how like you didn't want the drama between Lily and Rufus. You're like, save the drama for the kids. Like, let them have their own. I was like, yeah.
Yeah, it's a teen show. We don't care about the parents.
Yeah, like just let them get along already.
There are enough kids in the ensemble to like have multiple storylines.
Yes.
You don't need the parents in there as well. But the parents make it interesting too, especially when you get to later seasons with like Blair's parents as well. I loved her storylines with her parents. But yeah,
She definitely has the best parental unit at this point.
Yeah.
With 4, solid parents.
Yeah.
That live in Europe.
Yeah.
That aren't there to ruin her directly the way
None of
they
the
want.
parents are really there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, Lily's there for everyone that's not her kids.
Yeah. Same with Rufus.
Yeah. Yeah.
Same with Rufus. Yeah.
Well, he's a great dad to anyone but Jenny.
Yeah. Yeah. Poor Jenny. The only person nice to her is Nate.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh.
I was thinking in this episode when we get to it later, but like I was thinking he would have been a better brother to her than Dan.
Yeah.
Like he should have been her brother.
Now, do you have a favorite and or least favorite character?
Well, I am very partial to Blair. So her style definitely inspired me the most. I'm very like preppy. I actually have my headband.
Nice. Oh, I've got it on the right side too. You have it on the right side.
So yeah, I bought this back in Gossip Girl days, and I still have it. I don't really wear headbands that much anymore, but had to bring it for the podcast.
College. There's no headbands in college.
Blair has a special place in my heart, and also because I was her stand-in for multiple years, for the last like 2 or 3 seasons of the show. So yeah, she's my favorite.
Awesome.
Well, let's get into the episode. Act 1 begins with a montage of models prepping for a fashion show, and Gossip Girl opens the episode. They say clothes make the man, but who makes the clothes? On the Upper East Side, it's Eleanor Waldorf, and we hear her new line is to die for. So as we said, we get the scantily clad models walking around and a little montage going on, and then Rufus is walking with Jenny. We get some exposition about Rufus being moved into Lily's. Much to Jenny's surprise, Rufus has also volunteered her to assist with Eleanor's latest fashion show.
Because now he suddenly supports her.
So like I said, I haven't rewatched the show up until now, and I thought that this episode was the one where Agnes torches the dresses. Obviously, that happened beforehand, right? Because that's
now season 2.
Yeah. I don't know why I had that mixed up in my brain. But so what happened? What happened with Jenny and Eleanor that she would need to give her a second chance?
Well, Jenny quit and took her dress that she had let Eleanor take the credit for.
Okay, right.
And then went to start the fashion line with Agnes. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. And then Agnes torched all the dresses.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you're ripping on Rufus, but this is actually one of his best parenting episodes for Jenny, I would say.
It honestly is. Honestly.
This was a great thing. This is a great thing for him to do.
He should have done this 2 years ago.
Yeah, exactly.
2 years ago when she's like, I want to go work for her. Okay, cool.
Is he friends with Eleanor?
No.
He's friendly.
Right?
He's friendly. I mean, he's been to dinner parties at her house a few times.
Yeah, he has. And now he also is married into money, so...
Yeah.
Right, he married Lily.
Yeah, he's in the Upper East Side now, so
everyone knows who he is now, yeah. So
yeah,
you can call in a favor to Eleanor Waldorf, apparently.
Yes, yeah. Now that he's a token husband... now that he's Lily's token husband.
Well, if you remember in season 2, he tried to get Eleanor to fire Jenny.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, how did he have this relationship with Eleanor to call in a favor? It's like maybe Lily did it? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, they've met a few times. They had dinner. He's been to dinner at her house at least twice.
Okay. But enough to call in a favor?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it is free labor.
That's true. And yeah, but as a second chance too.
Yeah.
She already messed up. So I don't know. I thought that was weird. I forgot what had happened, but I was like, does he know her?
Yeah.
So Jenny and Rufus enter the Waldorf penthouse, and Jenny immediately remembers her love of this world, and she sees all the prep going on, everything moving around, hub and bubble for the prep for the show.
Yeah, I was really excited for a fashion show episode. The last one was fun. Also, it's because you have Eleanor, and like I said earlier, she's one of my favorite actors on the show, and her storylines always just make me feel something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love Eleanor Waldorf too. Yeah, I also thought it was interesting that they're prepping at the Waldorf penthouse.
Yeah.
Like, doesn't she have an atelier somewhere that she could be getting her models, or an office that she should be using? Like, why the house?
I guess that set was being used for something else.
Yeah, clearly.
That day. Chuck and Blair are saying their morning goodbyes as they go about their respective days. The two still haven't uncovered Jack's plan, but as Blair leaves, two large security guards arrive and tell Chuck they're there to escort him off the premises.
Poor Chuck. Poor Blair with the hat in that scene.
I kind of like that gray outfit. The gray outfit, though.
Remember
her
that?
dress was beautiful.
Yeah,
her dress was
jacket.
Beautiful. The hat.
Remember that total stranger that said she's my mom that a DNA test says she probably is, that I trust completely? That's still a good idea, right?
So I hadn't watched the episode previous to this, but so Chuck signed over his hotel to a woman that he just met.
Yeah.
Based off of the results of a DNA test that he didn't have control over.
Yeah.
Even if the DNA test is true, he still doesn't know her.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
This is someone who abandoned him for his whole life.
Yeah. 18 years or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Chuck, come on, you're smart.
Yeah. Apparently not.
It was, apparently not. Apparently Chuck just needs a mom so bad.
Yeah.
So badly.
Lily, hello.
Yeah. Like, oh no, I can't ask my dad's company that definitely would not want to see me fail help me out. Like, come on, dude. Drop the ego.
Yeah, that was an interesting plot point in the show. I mean, obviously, it has to happen for what happens at the end of the show, but like, why would you do that, Chuck? You're so smart. Chuck and Blair are such schemers that I feel like he would have thought this through a little bit more. And talked to Blair about it too. I don't know if he did, but I feel like
Blair's actually the one who really pushed him into it. And
really?
They set that up. They set that foreshadowing up big. That it was, I was the one who pushed you into it. I was the one who gave you the strike to do it.
This whole episode, I was waiting for Chuck to turn on Blair, and he never did, because I was waiting for him to be like, "And you."
Yeah. I'm surprised she would counsel him to do that. That's so weird. Have a relationship with your mom, yes, but sign over the rights to your hotel, no.
Blair is really quick to give really bad advice, though.
She is.
Because she will be like, oh, maybe you shouldn't trust her. And then the second that she meets somebody, she's like, oh, no, I buy it completely.
Yeah.
You should. She did the same thing with Tripp and Serena when Tripp she was like, oh, no, he must really actually love you. You should go on a trip with this congressman who's married to someone else.
And she also takes her own bad advice a lot, too.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. But she's so smart, too. And they scheme. And when they have plots, they work out. And yeah.
Yeah.
Just not very good advice givers, apparently.
Jenny apologizes to Eleanor and the two make nice. However, Jenny is shocked to find out that she is not the only one getting a second chance. Jenny's former business partner, Agnes, is also in the show.
Yeah. This train wreck is back.
Why is Agnes there?
This is not she is not a character we needed more of to begin with.
She's an interesting character in the sense that she creates drama, right?
Right.
And that's
she's a wild card.
Show. But the reasoning as to why she's there is very confusing. You're just giving second chances to everyone today, Eleanor?
Yeah. And her beef with Jenny is also kind of where is this really coming from?
Yeah.
You ended
they bury the hatchet. And then she's like, haha, just kidding.
Yeah. Yeah, just kidding, because I burnt your dresses and I'm still mad about it.
Oh, I think she got mad because Eleanor was giving her more than a second chance. Jenny, that is.
Yeah.
Well,
you think jealousy?
Yeah.
Yeah, because Agnes said later on, she said something about I was going to have my own fashion line and you ruined it. But Agnes, you're here with Eleanor. You've just made nice with Jenny, someone else who can help you with your career. why are you trying to destroy that?
Yeah.
Jenny was willing to give you a second chance as well. Like,
Yeah.
you completely destroyed that. And then the blonde girl that... Who was that?
That was no one. This is the first time we ever seen her.
Who's that?
Yeah.
But for some reason, she also hates Jenny.
Yep.
Yeah, apparently. Why does everyone hate Jenny? I was like, wait, did I miss something? I don't remember her.
Nope. You did not miss anything. Nothing that we all didn't miss.
Yeah.
Dan and Vanessa are riding the elevator to Lily's penthouse, anxious about telling the family about them dating. However, their fear was needless, as everyone already knows. Rufus and Serena congratulate Dan and Vanessa because, of course, Nate spilled the beans. Never tell Nate a secret.
Oh, no. Never. And I hate this whole Dan Vanessa story. They had that hot kiss at one point behind the photo thing, the photo booth. And other than that, it has just been, first of all, like, let's just open up a book of tropes and see what we can do with these best friends now dating. Like, let's just watch Friends and then write this whole storyline. Oh, we got to hide it from people, and this is where we're friends and this is where we're not. Oh, and now we're in a rut after dating for 5 minutes. And it's like, shut up.
The only thing I could think is they were trying to kind of balance the deep, like the darkness of the Chuck storyline with something a little bit funny, but it just didn't land.
Yeah, funny and heartwarming at the end. But yeah, the whole Dan Vanessa storyline in this episode, this is when I was like, what are they doing? Like, if I were in this relationship, first of all, I would not be listening to Serena's advice.
No.
You know, she didn't really give advice. She just sort of like planted a little seed in Vanessa's head about being in a rut. And Vanessa's like, oh my God, we are in a rut. And I was like, Serena, shut up. Like,
Yeah.
First of all, you know, Serena and Nate weren't ever really friends.
No.
They're friend adjacent.
Yeah.
But they weren't hanging out watching movies together and, you know, having deep conversations into the night.
The most friendly thing they've actually done together is Serena covering for Nate's affair with a married woman.
Yeah.
but also like Nate's been obsessed with Serena since the beginning.
Yeah.
So it's not like they were ever just friends. He's always had the hots for her.
Exactly.
And she's always had the hots for him too.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah, she did. Yeah.
Per Lily.
Her and Lily. Oh.
No, per Lily.
Oh,
She said like in the first or second episode, she's like, oh, she was like talking to Nate. She's like, oh, I think my daughter's always had a crush on you.
Yeah.
Well,
I remember that.
The reason that Nate's so obsessed with her is because they hooked up while he was dating Blair.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's episode 1, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
and either episode 1 or 2, the first time we see Lily interact with Nate, she says something to him in front of Dan too, I think, right? I think Nate and Dan are in the lobby.
Yeah, but I don't think she knew Dan was there. Dan was just kind of sitting there.
Yeah.
She was talking to Nate.
Dan was Joe Goldberging. Preparing for his role in You.
Yes, shot on the same sound stages.
But yeah, she says something to Vanessa like, oh, we always try and mix things up and we don't want it to ever get stale or something. And Vanessa's like, I should do that. And then I'll talk about it when we get to that scene. But like, oh my God, like, why did that get into your head?
Yeah.
Eleanor explains to Blair how she is trying to lure a Walmart analog to carry her new line. Shots are fired at Bristol Palin as Blair clearly looks down on the retail chain. However, Eleanor insists that Blair bring her normal college friends to the party to impress Mr. Conwell on how down-to-earth the Waldorfs are. Dorota wonders what Blair will do as she has no friends, only second-rate minions.
I love Dorota. Love Dorota.
Yeah, and apparently Dorota's baby kicks out of time and sloppily because she kicks like Lars Ulrich from Metallica.
Shots fired.
Shots fired.
I love how Blair goes down the reach. She's like, what about Saks or Bloomingdale's? Like, Bloomingdale's is the word.
Yeah.
This is so funny.
And just her face when her mom says Cornwalls or Cornwells, and she just blank, like, are you kidding me?
Yeah. But Mom, no.
A distraught Elizabeth bursts into Chuck's suite to apologize for forcing Chuck to leave. Jack is close behind her and points out how he masterminded the whole thing and the empire is now his. A heartbroken Chuck stares down Elizabeth as he walks out under his own power. Poor Chuck.
Ugh.
But he brought it on himself.
And I sat there and I was like, oh, Jack must have something on her.
Me too. Yes. I was like, what does he have on her?
And as we were saying, like, here you have the writers with this great setup. He has some kind of really great dirt on her. No, just the woman can't help herself around the man that she's in love with.
The brother of Chuck's dad.
Yeah, of her dead not husband.
Yeah. Like, you were in love with both brothers? I don't like. Come on, lady.
Oh my God. It's the worst.
But she seemed distraught. But like, if she was really distraught, she wouldn't have done it.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah, it's so weird.
Yeah.
And as Chuck points out later, it completely doesn't make sense because why would you love someone that would do something like that?
Like, yeah, why would you? Hey, I love you so much. You know, it would be great if a great way for us to bond. Let's completely fuck over your estranged son that thinks you're dead. That'll bring us together.
Yeah.
Spark up the romance. Get us out of a rut.
Get us out of a Yeah, it's all about ruts today, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a rut episode. This was their way.
But she comes in, she's like, I'm so sorry, Chuck. And then Jack's like, I mastermind the whole thing. And I was like, you're in love with that? He's literally being a complete asshole.
Yeah.
Like, you're saying I'm sorry, and he's saying, ha ha ha. Like, clearly you made the wrong choice.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Gossip Girl takes us into the first commercial break with, we hear Chuck's hotel is hanging on by a thread and Jack's pulling all the strings.
You're so clever, Gossip Girl. So clever.
Yes. Act 2 begins. Vanessa and Serena are at the buffet line discussing how they are both in new relationships with lifetime friends. Serena unintentionally causes Vanessa to become self-conscious about her and Dan doing the same things they've always done. Dan comes in and talks about their Saturday tradition, which just causes Vanessa to get even further inside her head.
So fucking dumb.
Yeah.
So this was one of those lines that I was mentioning before about how the acting really helps the scene or the story, because I completely believed that Serena did not mean any harm by saying these lines. Whereas like in any other situation, you might think that she was competing with Vanessa and being like, oh, you guys are in a rut. Like, you need to spice it up. But she just like mentions it offhandedly. And I completely believe that she wasn't trying to do anything bad to Vanessa. And I thought that was really good because the writing was very much like a competition. So yeah, this was one of those lines where I thought that the acting definitely helped steer the story in the right direction.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
Jenny is trying to get Agnes fitted, who is not being very helpful. Jenny apologizes to Agnes, and the two make up. Jenny gets a text from Damien looking for his drugs, and Jenny explains the situation to Agnes. Agnes comes up with a plan to get revenge on Damien.
Well, first of all, why are you apologizing to Agnes?
Yeah.
She's the one who was torching your entire plan in front of every investor you went to, and then literally torched all of your work. And then you're like, I'm sorry that I stopped inviting you to the meetings that you kept blowing up.
Yeah. Yeah. I just, I don't know why
Agnes
Jenny would
is the
want to be
worst.
friends with Agnes.
Yeah.
Like, I can understand her wanting to be friends with Blair and Serena, but like Agnes literally has no social clout that Jenny would want to have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And why are you already, you've just made up for 5 minutes and you're telling her about your drug dealing ex-boyfriend?
And escapades.
Yeah. Yeah.
And also Agnes says, oh, let's get revenge on Damien. How? When? What was the plan? She just said, come meet us at the show.
Well,
Yeah.
they're gonna show up the drugs and then flush them down the toilet.
Right, which also is like, that's going to be a huge, like, he's going to he's going to be mad. That's not revenge.
Well, I think that was Agnes's whole. She wants chaos. She just wants
Yeah.
chaos.
Yeah. But Jenny should realize that. Like, it's just going to be chaos.
Yeah.
Flushing
She
the pills is like torching the dresses. Like, it's not going to be good.
Right. Yeah.
But so we have talked in recent episodes how Jenny definitely does need friends. She doesn't really have any friends. So that part I can kind of buy, kind of bending over backwards to get her friend back.
Mm-hmm. That's true, yeah. But why that friend?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then who's the one girl that hates her?
Go find Eric.
Go find Eric. I know. Her and Eric are really good friends.
Yeah.
He's off on Long Island getting revenge.
Yes. That was also a really good show. You should do that after this one.
Which one was that? I've heard
Revenge.
Oh,
Revenge.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Vanessa goes to Serena to ask for advice on how to spice things up. Unsolicited, Nate suggests 2 words: roleplay. Serena then suggests a themed date based on one of Dan's favorite films.
This kind of goes back to what you were saying about Serena, how that first scene was kind of written almost competitively, or could have been very easily a very catty kind of interaction. And here you have Serena once again, full blown like, hey, here's something that you could do that Dan would probably like.
Yeah.
Well, this seemed to be very much reminded me of season 1 with the opposite, with Serena going to Vanessa asking for advice on Dan's gift.
Oh, right. In season 1.
Yeah, it's like, does Vanessa know him better or does Serena know him better?
Well, and that's funny because it's Vanessa knows him as a friend and all the friend stuff to do, but Serena knows him romantically.
Yeah.
So it is kind of different worlds that they're approaching it from.
But again, this scene too, like I didn't feel like Serena was, again, competing or showing up Vanessa like, I know what he wants. Like, it just felt very helpful. It felt very sincere.
Yeah, and genuine and friendly.
Yeah.
Eleanor is impressed by Jenny's work and tells her that after the show, they should talk about finding Jenny a permanent position. One of the other assistants, Callie, shows up with Damien's pills retrieved from Jenny's dresser. Agnes is excited to get her chaos binge on, but after Eleanor's praise, Jenny is having second thoughts on blowing things up. Smart choice, Jenny.
Smart.
Callie has a name?
I know. I was like, who?
Okay, can we talk about her for a second? That this person shows up out of fucking nowhere. She is nowhere in this show, then one day shows up. First of all, here are the pills exactly where you told me they were, Jenny, and I put them in this clutch. You told this stranger where to find your drug stash?
She's a named character, all right? She's clearly friends with Jenny.
Yeah.
They must have history.
I did have to go with the IMDb to find her name.
Awesome.
And
well, good for her. Good for that actress. I mean,
yeah,
she got a part in this episode.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she did. Yeah, she did great. It's just,
Well,
that was not me.
Tell someone where your drug stash is.
But also, like, give them the keys to your apartment and tell them where your drug stash is and tell them put them in my like.
Yeah.
And does she really have time to go run all the way to Brooklyn and then come back to the Upper East Side?
Well, that would be at Lily's.
Oh, they were at Lily's.
They're at Lily's.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, they were at Lily's, but still.
Yeah. Nate and Serena arrive at the bar to meet Chuck and Blair. Chuck explains the whole Jack Bass Empire takeover plot. Chuck's big plan is to get Elizabeth alone so he can appeal to her as a son to his mother. Chuck leaves to do just that, and Serena and Nate express their doubts on the validity of the DNA test, but Blair asks them to hold off. The running joke of Blair having no friends continues.
Why are they at a bar?
Because they're always at a bar. And Chuck's depressed. He needs to drink. He needs some whiskey.
He wasn't there, was he?
He was there at the beginning of the scene, yeah.
Oh, was he? Okay, sorry. My bad.
Yeah.
Well, to that point, this whole scene could have been a text.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey guys, this is what's going down with Jack. But no, it's like, meet me at this bar so I can tell you what's going on with Jack.
Yeah.
Well,
So
what's
the
going on
way
with
that
Jack?
they
I'll tell
zip
you.
around, the way that they zip around the city, it just is. They get from
Very
point A to point B
impressive.
so quickly. But they plant this seed about the DNA test being faked, and I'm like, oh, how's this going to play out? That's interesting.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Yeah.
Talk about that later.
At NYU, Dorota finds Blair's air quote friend, Brandeis, and asks her about her hourly rate and if she has around 30 more friends just like her.
it was interesting how much the Columbia dorm looked like Dan's outside of Dan's dorm, where he met Melissa.
That is the NYU dorm.
That's the NYU dorms. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Blair's still at NYU.
Why was Brandeis at NYU?
She's at
That's
NYU.
where Blair is.
I thought Brandeis was Columbia.
No.
Oh,
Those two girls that we just beat this episode are from Columbia.
Yeah, where did Blair meet Brandeis again?
At the NYU coffee shop.
yeah, but I didn't think Brandeis went to NYU.
She did.
Have you watched ahead, Steve? Have you watched more episodes than you're supposed to?
No, absolutely not. Not since the first 4 episodes I started binging, and it was like, you do not get the concept of this show, do you?
No.
And now
Maybe
my
you're
poor
getting-
wife.
Maybe you're getting Brandeis confused with Callie because they're such important characters.
Yeah, maybe. That must be it. Callie goes to Columbia, right?
Maybe.
Sure.
She's a working girl, so she's out of wait.
Yeah.
Brandeis is the working girl.
Brandeis is
But yeah, Callie's got a job, so maybe she's out of college. I don't know.
Yeah.
Who cares about Callie?
Who cares about Callie?
That's what the name of this episode should have been.
Yeah. Back at the Waldorf penthouse, Jenny leaves the room to wheel out a rack of garment bags with Callie and foolishly trusts Agnes to watch her purse. We as the audience see Callie give Agnes a sly smile as she leads Jenny out of the room. Agnes immediately goes for the purse and takes the pills.
Like, why, Jenny?
Yeah.
Why are you still trusting this person?
She's so trusting. Yeah.
Oh, hey, watch my stuff. Okay.
Yeah. It
Watch
wasn't
my
even
stuff
that.
with all the drugs in it.
It wasn't even that. Like, she was about to take her stuff, and Agnes was like, "Oh, I'll watch it."
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, "But there's, like, what if she gets called away? What if Eleanor needs her to try on another outfit? Like, what? Like, take your bag."
Yeah.
And also,
So
like, what if Eleanor comes by and just like happens to like, what if Agnes is in the bathroom and Eleanor sees it or it spills or someone bumps into it, et cetera, et cetera. Anyway,
Yeah.
I was like, this was.
In the comic book world, there's a popular phrase called plot-induced stupidity.
Yes. 100%.
Yes.
I know. I find this with a lot of shows where I'm just like, if they just sent a text message or if they just clarified something really quickly or like if someone asked for clarification, none of this would have happened. And
Mm-hmm.
the plot definitely relies on plot-induced stupidity.
Yeah. Especially for a character like Jenny who's not stupid.
Yeah.
Jenny isn't stupid. Trusting sometimes, but not stupid.
Yeah. This was definitely a case of her being trusting to someone she just made up with 20 seconds ago.
Gossip Girl takes us into the next break with Careful, Jay. The show's about to start, and it looks like Eleanor's line is going to bring the whole new meaning to high fashion. Act 3 begins. At the fashion show, Blair is telling Serena to leave the Chuck situation alone. Serena is surprised to see Brandeis at that event, but Blair points out Brandeis' target, Mr. Conwell. The ladies are closed for business, but are just acting as normal college students. When Serena becomes incredulous, Blair points out that prostitutes are people too and have a lot of disposable income.
Yeah.
So this is where I begin to question. A few episodes, Blair got in good with the Tish kids. She couldn't just like hire some actual actors.
Yeah. They would have been way cheaper than $300 an hour.
Yeah.
They would have done it for free.
Yeah. It's performance art feat. Don't worry about it.
Performance art, yeah. Oh, man. Well, I'll let you know that a lot of those kids there probably were from Tisch. The background
that's
actors.
Yes. Not surprising. In Brooklyn, a napping Dan is awakened by a kiss from Vanessa in full Rear Window cosplay.
Oh, Christ, Vanessa.
So they left Lily's, and he was like, "See you at 6," and she was like, "Maybe 6:30." And then he's asleep in a chair? What time is it?
Yeah.
Like, how late was she? And how did she have time to do that whole makeup and hair get up? And did she do it at the apartment? Did he fall asleep waiting for her to get dressed? Did she ride the subway looking like that?
Set that whole table in silence
Yeah.
While he's sleeping.
while he's sleeping uncomfortably in a chair 10 feet away.
She drugged him. She absolutely drugged him with Jenny's pills.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was an interesting choice. And he didn't
Yeah.
seem super into it, did he?
Yeah, he was like,
Oh,
this is cute.
I don't really like shellfish.
Well, she said she was going to make like a yummy noodle dish. Like, why didn't she just make that? Is shellfish part of Rear Window?
Yeah, there was like it was the whole recreation of the whole scene.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
At the show, Jenny catches Agnes visibly distributing Damien's pills to the models. Jenny tries to shut it down, but Agnes blackmails her into keeping quiet. Jenny tries to tell Eleanor anyways, but it's too late. The show is about to start. Agnes and Callie still are plotting to take Jenny down.
And like, what was Jenny hoping to do by telling Eleanor? Because the models were absolutely fine.
Yeah.
Like, it didn't ruin the show at all.
Yeah, they probably have a decent tolerance built up.
Yeah.
Especially to that point, Agnes is just handing out these pills to these models, and the models are like, cool, pills.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Sweet. No one's
What are
like,
these?
I don't
yeah,
care.
what is this? Is
Yeah.
this a Tylenol? Is it an ecstasy? It's just, oh, okay, I'm just going to, thanks for the random pills.
Yeah, and she has no idea what the pills are. There were multiple different ones, multiple different colors and different sizes. Which ones is she giving out?
Yeah.
And what is that going to do to the models? And then apparently nothing?
And who lost their cholesterol medicine for them to get this stash now?
Yeah.
Because the last time they had a stash, it was just stuff they stole from Lily.
Thanks to some loyal employees, Chuck gets his one-on-one meeting with Elizabeth. Chuck gets his answer on why she helped Jack, and it's because she loves him. Chuck himself exposes the flawed writing of the storyline when he asks, "What kind of person would convince you to do this to me?"
That was a great
Elizabeth
shot.
tells Chuck
That was a great
that
shot.
she isn't really his mother.
Are you fucking serious? My love for the man is just too strong to be a good person. I hated this. So, like, that's what you have on her?
That's what he has on her. And also, like, why does the woman have to be the weak one? Like,
Yeah.
there could have been so many reasons as to why she was like, listen, I don't know you. You don't know me. I'm just a horrible person.
Yeah. Yeah.
I killed someone and
Like,
Jack
I left
knows
you
about
once.
it.
I'm going to leave you again. Like, what did you expect? Like, but no, it's because she was in love with your dad's brother.
Yeah. Your dead dad's brother.
I mean,
But-
make it about money like Chuck thought.
Yeah. Like anything. And again, it goes back to the setup that the writers had and the turn they took. It's like, and also him. Like,
Yeah. Him, I know.
yeah.
But Chuck's acting in this scene, I thought was really good in terms of like, you don't really get a lot of emotional crying scenes in Gossip Girl. It's a lot more betrayal. I mean, this was betrayal as well, but this was also seated and rooted in the fact that this was his mother. It wasn't just like a friend of his. Like, this was someone he's been wanting to meet and be with and have a relationship with his entire life. So his acting in this scene, I thought was amazing and heartbreaking.
Yeah, I did think Ed's acting was much better in this episode than the past few episodes where he was kind of phoning it in.
Mm.
But he did do a good job in this episode. Deadmau5 is DJing the fashion show. Serena tells Nate about Blair's hired friends. Nate gets a call from Chuck, who tells Nate the Empire is gone. Unfortunately, Nate has a plan.
Nate. Aw, are you thinking?
So I realized this morning when doing my notes, Nate is basically Tommy Boy. He's got a rich family. Most people like him. He's a likable guy. He likes to party, and he's not that smart.
Yeah. He's going to be in college for 7 years.
Yes.
Lots of people go to college for 7 years. Yeah, they're called doctors. This was also the scene with that shot of the Brooklyn Bridge behind Chuck when he calls Nate. And yeah, I loved that shot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, Nate, don't do the thinking. We have Blair to think.
Yes. And Serena tries to formulate a plan with him too. And I was just like, what are you guys doing? You're not schemers.
No.
And Serena, you can't create a plan that doesn't involve yourself as some kind of honeypot. Like, you only know one way to scheme.
Yeah.
It's to throw yourself at somebody who's not interested.
Oh, poor Serena.
Poor Serena. I keep saying that I just want someone to handcuff Serena and Nate together so they can't see any other pretty shiny objects and just stay together at all times. Because they're the perfect couple.
Yeah. I like how you call them golden retriever couple as well.
Yes, there are golden retrievers.
They are golden
They'll go
retrievers.
for the yeah.
They really are the perfect couple.
Yeah, I love them together so much. Mm-hmm. But again, handcuff them together. Don't let them see any shiny other object.
Dan shits on Vanessa's lobster, then pulls out 2 tickets to the student movie theater. This just annoys Vanessa even more about being stuck in a rut, which Dan is still oblivious to. Rufus shows up and immediately tries to back out when he sees they are on a date. Before he can leave, Vanessa passive-aggressively invites Rufus to stay for dessert. She then gets up and walks into the other room.
It's funny to me, and Dan makes this point at the end, but the whole point to being with your best friend is to continue the relationship you had, right? Like, you're together and you work because you have this history and this great relationship already that you're now adding a layer to. And that was really Dan's point later. But this is where I'm thinking, like, Vanessa, why are you making such a big deal of the fact that you're doing the stuff that you've been doing together all along? Why is that a problem?
I was going to ask you guys, like, whose side are you on? Are you on Dan's side or Vanessa's side? And it seems like you're on Dan's side.
I
get both sides.
You're both sides?
I understand both sides. I mean, I would be more on the Dan side if it was me, but I can see Vanessa's point of view.
I feel like it was just too early in the relationship for Vanessa to jump to this. That, like,
I agree.
She definitely got inside her head.
Yeah, exactly.
And also, like, talk about it first. You know?
Yeah.
Again, this is like, if they just talk to each other. But,
yeah.
You know, if she's like, hey, I feel like we're in a rut. Can we maybe do a Rear Window role play next week? Mm-hmm. Like, would that be fun? Instead of just surprising him with it out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Because Serena put an earworm in her, you know, like.
Yeah.
Like, Dan had no idea where this is coming from. He was completely blindsided. Also, Dan's favorite movie is Rear Window.
Yeah.
That would be Dan's
watching other people.
I could see that.
Another You reference, maybe.
Yeah. But also Rufus, he shows up and acts surprised, but they specifically told him they were going to have a romantic dinner tonight.
Yes, he knew. Get out of there, Rufus.
Yeah. You're not even living there now.
He's got to get his 12 string. Because that's what you need every day.
Because we haven't heard Every Time on a 12 string yet.
Also, like, wouldn't your guitar be the first thing you move to your new apartment?
Yes.
As a musician?
Yes.
He might take over Bart's office with all his guitars.
Yeah. My instruments were all safely moved in before, like, all of my instruments and nerd stuff were safely moved in before my clothes.
Yeah. What do you need clothes for? No.
Yeah.
That's what the laundry machine is for.
Exactly. I can just toss them in. It was just my wife and I living there. Who needed,
Blair is trying to schmooze Mr. Conwell, but it seems he has spotted the sex workers in the audience. He tells Blair that he would never have that type of clientele associated with his store's Midwest image.
Well, I mean...
He knew about that a little too easily.
Yeah, that was... Yeah.
There's nothing he can do about that, though. Those people probably still shop at his store anyway.
Yeah.
Regardless if Eleanor Waldorf's line is there or not. Like, he can't stop that.
Has he seen the people of Walmart.com?
I know, you should be lucky for these lovely people shopping there.
Yes. Jenny watches from the wings as Eleanor takes her bow for a successful show. Callie hands Jenny a congratulatory glass of champagne. As Jenny raises her glass, she fails to see Callie telling Agnes that she put a triple dose of the pills in Jenny's drink.
Why does Agnes have a minion?
Yeah. How does she have a minion?
How?
That's apparently also friends with Jenny, but is like, I've been looking for a way to screw her over.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everyone's just jealous of Jenny because she's so talented.
She is just such a talented designer, as Dan is such a talented writer.
Yeah. As Rufus is a talented musician.
And Rufus is a talented, yes.
Everyone's so talented.
Who is only...
Chuck is a talented businessman.
Yes.
Serena's a talented model.
Rufus is only not a big celebrity because he chose not to be... chose to stay home with his kids rather than be famous, a rock star.
Yeah.
And Gossip Girl takes us to our next commercial with we hear Eleanor's show brought down the house. Sounds like a night to remember if you can.
Yeah. Oh, we're just drugging people now. We're just drugging people.
And making jokes about it.
Again,
yeah.
They gave all the models one pill, and then Callie was like, and nothing happened. And then Callie was like, I gave her a triple dose of what? Nothing? Like,
yeah.
Nothing happened with those pills.
She took 3 metformin.
But also Jenny, like Agnes hands her the champagne, and Jenny was like, oh, last time Eleanor congratulated me herself. Chug, 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 chug. Like, maybe that's a hint to, like, not drink the random champagne that someone just gave you. Also, Jenny, you're 16, aren't you? Like, you shouldn't be drinking.
Well, that's never stopped anyone on this show.
No, I know.
It's so funny how we actually hardly talk about that anymore, where the first half of the first season... we were always talking about, oh yeah, and here are these teenagers at a bar, just getting pounded at a bar.
At least they're in college now.
Yeah, at least they're in college now. And a lot of the drinking does take place more at like private events or at a house or a dorm. It's not in bars as much.
Yeah.
Yeah, all of season 1 and 2.
Except for Chuck.
Yeah, except for Chuck. But a lot of times it's his bar too. So.
Yeah, it's his bar usually.
So we move into Act 4, and the drugs are hitting Jenny hard and fast. She is already stumbling around and asks Agnes what she put in her drink. Agnes rips the fake friendship facade off and tears into Jenny for ruining her life and suffering 0 consequences. I don't know about that, Agnes.
Yeah. 0 consequences? You mean torching her dresses wasn't enough? Yeah. But also, okay, wasn't the plan to flush these pills? Where's Damien? Did Damien not show up?
Yeah, he never showed up.
He never shows.
Well, presumably Jenny texted him and said not to show up.
Oh, okay.
She said she was going to.
Yeah, Jenny did say she wanted to back out.
That, but she said she was going to back out.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, that was a cutscene then.
Yeah.
So I was like, he's still showing up, isn't he? And then Agnes's, well, I'll talk about it in a minute.
Yeah, the second part 2 of her plan.
Yeah. Anyway.
Nate's plan has gone into effect as Jack arrives at the fashion show looking for Chuck. Nate tells Jack to wait by the bar, and he is immediately surrounded by some of the escorts.
Oh, Nate.
So high school.
This is like, don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious.
Don't.
It's like, you call me here to meet with my nephew who is not here, but all of a sudden there are tons of women all over me.
Yeah.
Oh, Nate. Rufus is awkwardly trying to make small talk as he is clearly imposing on a date. Vanessa gets up and Rufus whispers some advice to Dan. However, before they realize it, Vanessa is out the door.
Why are you sitting there?
Yeah, get out of there, Rufus.
Like,
yeah, just leave.
Why did you sit down? You already said you shouldn't sit down.
Yeah.
Why did you sit down?
Yeah. This was probably the funniest scene to me because after she leaves, Dan just goes, she left? All right. Like, he was so over it.
Yeah. Like I said at the beginning, I think that was the intention of this storyline, was to bring some humor to the episode.
Yeah.
And Penn is great at the humor stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I just don't care about Dan and Vanessa.
Yeah. Yes, completely.
I also just love how, like, Dan is so desperate, or was so desperate, to be in this world. And then when they act the way the world acts, he's just like, ugh, they're at it again. It's like,
Yeah.
you wanted this.
Yeah.
At the show, Blair accuses Brandeis of going outside mission parameters. Brandeis, however, is innocent. Mr. Conwell actually recognized a male escort at the party. Seems Mr. Midwest Family Man is something of a hypocrite. You can tell how little Blair actually cares about Brandeis by how quickly she apologizes to her. She would never apologize to Serena that fast.
And I love her owning this Cornwell guy. And
That comes next.
oh, I thought that was right there.
Yeah.
This is just where she confronts Brandeis.
Yeah, and Brandeis is like, it's not me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, then Blair immediately takes this new information to blackmail Mr. Conwell into reconsidering Eleanor's line.
Yes. Classic Blair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the scheming Blair that I love.
Yeah.
Not that I condone blackmailing, but, like, come on. This is the essence of Blair
the original
here.
plan failed, but she goes right to blackmail.
Yeah.
And as we've often said, within the morality of this show, she's right on cue.
Yeah.
You know,
she is the barometer for the show.
She really is.
Are the barometer for the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As Nate and Serena walk towards Jack's limo, Nate explains the plan to take a picture of Jack with the escorts to show to Elizabeth. When they open the door, Jack isn't having sex with the women. They are having a conversation about sustainable energy.
I love that.
What an easy night for those ladies, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. And
presumably Nate also paid them.
yeah.
But also, I would think that a picture like that would be enough
Yeah.
to be compromising. You're with two escorts in your limo.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I didn't happen to catch you in the throes of passion, but you're still in the limo with them, taking them somewhere. Like, I would put the pieces together. Like, that picture would still work, I think.
Yeah.
So silly.
But the one bright side of Nate's plan is that it puts him outside to see a stumbling and nearly past Jenny being shoved into a cab by Agnes and Callie.
For the purpose of having her sexually assaulted. Like you now Agnes is just escalating to accessory to
And presumably that taxi driver heard what they were saying too.
Yeah.
So he's kind of in on it too now.
Yeah. Like, we haven't gotten to that scene yet, but like you just said, Agnes's plan was not get Jenny hammered and then throw her on stage in the middle of the fashion show and destroy her chances with Eleanor Waldorf. It was get her hammered, take her to another location with random men, and get her date raped. Like,
she says when she's putting her in the cab, we're going to get this girl laid.
Yeah, but how is that revenge?
Yeah.
Like,
just pure evil.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
Jenny was stumbling around, and all she had to do was just push her on stage at the fashion show.
Yeah.
And embarrass her in front of Eleanor. Like, why jump immediately to sexual assault with random people?
Yeah.
Like,
just dropping her off at some.
Even know that those men were going to be there. Like,
yeah, there's got to be a bachelor party there. There's always a bachelor party at this bar.
And I love that right after Nate and Serena see Jack, Nate's like, I'll call Chuck. And Serena's like, I'll go find Blair. Why? Just to get her off the screen, right? So that Nate's the only one who sees Jenny. And like, why couldn't Serena also be there? I didn't understand. Because she never goes and finds Blair.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, no, she does. She does eventually. But yeah. Like, why? Why are you going back to Blair? Because your plan failed. I don't understand.
Yeah.
But Gossip Girl has this to say. Spotted Little J passing out in a taxi. Uh-oh. Looks like somebody better call the fashion police. We go into Act 5, and Agnes and her crew dump a barely conscious Jenny off at a bachelor party. Chaotic evil.
With
Chaotic
the most
evil.
lecherous men.
Yeah.
Like, you would think that at least one of them would be decent and be like, hey, let's get you home. Like, who are you? Like, no one talks to her. They just leave her on the couch. And then one guy's like, hey, I'll get her home. And it's like, no, your friends know that you're being weird.
Yeah.
Stop him.
Yeah. It's
But they leave her there for like ages.
Yeah, and the friends. I know we haven't gotten.
Like they said, she looks like she's 12.
Yeah.
So should you try to help her out? Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. But unfortunately, believable.
This whole bachelor party is happening around her passing out on a couch, while all the guys are just like standing around being like, "She's sexy. She looks like she's 12. We should get her home. What should we do about it?" And it's just like nobody does anything until like at the very end, the guy who's like super drunk is like, "I'll help her," and it's like, "No, you won't."
Yeah.
Backstage of the show, Conwell, with Blair's encouragement, tells Eleanor that he would love to have her new line in his stores, with a few changes. Eleanor, however, is unwilling to compromise her artistic vision and her brand and turns down the offer. Blair, emboldened by her mother's honesty and courage, tells Eleanor about not having any real friends.
Again, I love Eleanor. She's such a fucking boss.
Mm-hmm.
She's just like, no, you want to take my name off of my clothes? No. Absolutely not.
What was this guy's deal? Like, why was he even there? Like, he knows Eleanor Waldorf's designs. It's not like she was a new designer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why would he even be entertaining this notion if he didn't think the clothes were going to be a good fit anyway? I don't know. It was great to see powerful Eleanor Waldorf and Blair be able to open up to her mom, but like, this guy was just obviously not there for
he wanted the free trip to New York so he could meet with his male escort friend.
Yeah, really, ultimately.
There you go.
That is what it looks like.
Yeah, you're right.
I also loved Eleanor does everything she can to try to get me to cry when she, at the end of her episodes. And I think I held it together with this one, but man, when she was talking with Blair and she's like, the thing about Waldorf women is we don't fit in everywhere. And you fit in somewhere you haven't found your place. Like the thing that her daughter needs so much to hear from her right now. And she just nails it. She just lands that plane, you know? She just really gets through to Blair the way Blair needs it right there. And I just love that.
Blair has the best parents on the show. Hands down.
Yeah. And also, like I said earlier, these two are two of the best actors on the show. And when they have a scene together, it just is so moving. We've also said one of our favorite scenes is from the second Thanksgiving episode with the two of them and Taylor, when Jenny is making up with Blair and Eleanor on Thanksgiving, where that hit me right in the gut.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love watching them work.
And it's so good to see as well because Blair, when we have scenes with just Blair, like the whole show is basically Blair, and she is an adult. She acts and comports herself like an adult. And then when we see her with her mom, she turns into a kid and, you know, she gets a little bit more vulnerable. And I think that dynamic really, just the acting level of it, the vulnerability of it, it's just, it's really interesting to see on screen as well.
Yeah.
I agree. The bachelor party is getting ready to move on to the next destination. Jenny is still semi-conscious, and one sleazeball offers to hang back to take care of Blondie. A slurring Jenny takes a call from Nate, who is thankfully able to track her phone.
Which, how is he tracking her phone?
I mean, Find My Phone was a thing at that point.
Was it?
But like, why would Nate be able to track Jenny? It's just funny.
It's convenient.
Yeah.
It is.
The thing about Gossip Girl is they had a lot of contracts with different phone providers.
Oh, yeah.
So there were always a lot of, that's why Gossip Girl pops up on the phones, and there's a lot of insert shots of a phone, or like they're using the phone in a way that you wouldn't expect to use it. So this Find My Friend
Like
feature.
throwing it in the trash.
Yeah. Throwing your phone away. I know, they're just disposable. But yeah, so this Find My Friend feature was probably something that the company was like, hey, we need to feature this thing. And they wrote it into the episode as like a way to do that. So that's what I'm thinking, because they did a lot of that throughout the show, where the phones were essentially like another character on the show as well.
Oh, that.
Let's Bing it.
Binging.
I think that gets big in like season 5, I think. Everyone has to Bing. Let's Bing it.
Let's Bing. Oh, God.
No one says that.
There was one, I think you might have seen this episode already, but there was one where like Blair turns on music. It's Flo Rida, and she's like listening to her phone, like walking down a hallway. It's Flo Rida's like Get Low or something.
Yeah, season 1.
I just remember that being like, oh, you can listen to music on your phone now. It was one of those insert shots. So yes, the phones are like another character on the show. So I'm assuming that this is one of those things where they were trying to show a feature of the phone.
A little product placement.
Yeah.
That's really, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Dan finds Vanessa at her dorm and invites her on a surprise romantic first date.
Which
Vanessa.
She got out of that makeup and hair so quickly. And put on new makeup and did her hair so quickly. Okay.
Like took off the fake lashes, then redid her mascara.
Yeah.
She must have done on the subway ride home or something.
Like she should be in like a loungewear set, hair in a bun, no makeup. Like, what are you doing?
And also, just shut up. Just stop, Vanessa. Just stop.
I'm sorry it didn't work out the way you wanted to, but let's not pout, please.
Yes.
Like, take the L and just be like, well, that didn't work. Let's go see some shows. Like, hang out with your boyfriends.
Do the thing that you love doing with your boyfriend.
Yeah.
Elizabeth calls Chuck for a final meeting and tells him that she tried to get Jack to give the hotel back to Chuck, but Jack chose the hotel over her. With nothing left, Elizabeth is returning to Zurich. Chuck asks her to stay for him, but she tells him that she isn't really his mother, and Jack faked the DNA test.
Duh.
I hate this so much.
But she didn't though.
Right.
Well, duh to the Jack doesn't love her.
Yeah.
Line. Like, duh, Jack doesn't love you. Jack was clearly using you.
He
and you
isn't
should have known
capable of
that
love.
if you've known him for 20 years because you knew his brother.
Yeah.
You've known Jack for a long time.
And the whole like, stay for me though. Stay for me. Chuck, how much do you really mean to this person? How much have they demonstrated you really mean to them?
Yeah, but he still wants his mom.
Yeah.
And the only way that she could get rid of him was to say that she wasn't his mom. And that's when he sort of gives up, which is also heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Like learning that the woman that you want to have so desperately want to have a relationship with faked a DNA test to steal your hotel from you. The only thing that's really like your family.
Yeah.
Only thing you have left of your family. That's terrible.
Yeah.
That's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Nate arrives at the club and overhears the bachelor party talking about a very young-looking girl. Nate arrives just in time to stop the sleazeball from sneaking Jenny back to his apartment, and Nate escorts Jenny out of the club.
These dudes know that their friend is about to assault a minor. And they're like, man, that guy's in there all right. Like, man, someone should get him away from her. It's like, you. If you're recognizing that, you should get him away from her.
If you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem.
Yes. Yeah.
But then Also, a random guy comes in and steals this blonde chick away, and no one stops him. No one knows who Nate is.
Yeah.
Nate just says Jenny and picks her up, and you're like, oh, she's fine.
Yeah.
Like, you don't know who he is either.
Yeah. Where are the bartenders in all this?
Yeah.
I mean,
Bartender would clearly get her
someone.
home.
I mean, someone should have fixed this. Someone.
Yeah.
Anyone.
She should have been in an ambulance by now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Leaving the bar.
Yeah. There were no girls at this bar. Like, female solidarity. Like, if I saw her, I'd be like, let me look in your purse. Where do you live? Like,
Yeah, exactly.
We're getting you home. There were no women in this bar at all to help her.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Gossip Girl has this to say. It seems chivalry isn't dead after all. Lucky for this damsel in a dress, some things never go out of fashion. We go into the epilogue, and by this time, Nate has gotten Jenny home. She is sobered up enough to get past Rufus and get to her room. Rufus thanks Nate for seeing her home, and Nate is about to leave when he realizes he is still holding Jenny's bag.
Jenny sobered up.
So quick. I wrote the same thing down.
I was like, I have never in my life, I've never taken pills, but also like, I've been drunk and like, I am hungover for a day. Like, she was like, all right, I'm just going to go to bed now. Like,
What were those pills?
Right?
Like,
clearly nothing, because nobody was affected by them.
they're forget-me-nows. It's like,
And then also, Rufus got back to the apartment really quickly.
yeah.
Like, he was just in Brooklyn, right?
Yeah. Yep. He was.
Well, presumably some time has passed, because they did say, like, presumably enough time for them to have walked all the way home from the show, because that was the excuse of why they were late.
Oh, that is true.
Okay.
So the Rufus part is definitely more believable, but yeah, you would think Jenny would be still a little more
Rocked.
under the influence.
She would be
And then
she would be sneaking in past her dad. Like, hey, Nate, you go in first, distract my dad upstairs, and then I'll sneak in, like,
Yeah.
there's no way she would be sober.
speaking of Rufus, I know you know Nate's trustworthy and all that, but you just kind of leave him standing in the foyer. That just seems like bad manners.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm gonna go to bed now. See you, Nate.
Yeah.
Take it easy.
No one cares about these kids. None of the parents care about these kids.
None.
Serena congratulates Blair for finally being honest with her mother when Blair is approached by 3 Columbia students who recognize her because everyone at Columbia reads Gossip Girl. Blair compliments one's shoes, but then corrects her on the placement of her headband bow. Blair asks Serena what she knows about Columbia.
This is me.
Yay!
Finally. Yes. I appreciate you saying I was one of the models, but this is me.
Well, I actually had the thought of could you have done both, because they were such different scenes? Could they have been like, switch your outfit, get,
Yeah.
But yeah, but that does make a lot of sense.
I am the one that doesn't talk because I was just picked from a random background person. The director, so in Gossip Girl, there's this trope of like everyone has to be in threes. So there's like Blair and her 2 minions, and like, so like there's a trope of there being 3. So they had the 2 girls that were hired.
Marissa Fumero
And Alice Callahan.
Both of them were so nice. And they had those 2 cast already. And so the director was like, we need a third person to walk up with them. So someone picked, a PA picked like 6 to 10 girls and lined us all up. And I was chosen with another girl by the director. And then I was wearing what I was wearing. And then the other girl was wearing like the silky blue shirt. And the director turned to one of the PAs and was like, what are the girls wearing? And they said, oh, they're wearing these like frilly shirts. And I was wearing a frilly shirt. And that is why I got picked. So because I matched the aesthetic, I was chosen.
Wow, that's
The
really
shirts
funny.
were definitely of that era.
Yes.
Yeah.
They were both so, so nice. very, very welcoming and chatty when we weren't filming. So they were both very, very nice.
Fun.
I recognized, can't remember if it's Melissa or Marissa Fumero. Melissa, but she was on Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yeah.
And I always had a thing for her when she'd come on, and my wife always, it's like a long running joke. So when she showed up, she goes, "Great, your girl's here."
And now you met another one of the ones in that scene. So hello.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But yeah, so Brooklyn Nine-Nine was after that. So she was she was talking about how she was a huge like soap actress.
Oh, okay.
And mostly soaps. So we were talking about that backstage, and then we did that, and then she got on Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and I was like, yeah, go you.
Yeah.
Because she was really nice. Good for her. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Nate goes to Jenny's room to return her purse and finds her fighting depression. Nate tries to cheer her up, but nothing seems to get through to Jenny until she gets a text from Eleanor telling her that she's hired. Jenny hugs and thanks Nate for saving her. As Nate gets up to leave, Jenny gets a schemy look on her face.
Mm-hmm.
Again, Agnes's plan could have been so much better if she just kept Jenny at the fashion event
At the show,
in front of Eleanor Waldorf. If Agnes really wanted revenge, that's what would have happened. People need to consult Blair and Chuck when they want to scheme. There's just no point in anyone else doing any scheming.
And Nate is such a good big brother friend. He's so, and you had mentioned the big brother thing earlier, and I really love how he treats Jenny, although it's not the same both ways. Jenny obviously has a thing for Nate.
Oh, that's
so yeah, and I get it. Nate is, he's Nate. he's not a bad catch.
No, he's cute and he's nice and he's friendly. But yeah, he's definitely like a good older brother to Jenny. And he's never been, as far as I can remember, he's never been anything more to her. Like he doesn't.
They definitely had a few kisses in season 2.
Oh, did they?
Yeah,
okay, never mind.
They had a very.
Cut that out.
Well, it was a short
and
thing.
it just happened to happen while Nate was living with them too. So he was more of your brother than ever.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And then Dan ended up, that blew up Dan and Nate's relationship. And that broke up Jenny and Nate, and that kind of pushed Nate and Vanessa together.
Yeah, I don't remember the earlier seasons that well.
In season 1, I thought Dan was a good brother to Jenny, but then in season 2, he started taking his cues from Rufus.
Yes, and a lot more the patriarchal parenting of Rufus. Of my son is free to explore his creative interests, but my little girl needs to stay in school and be a good little kid.
But also, I know Rufus got this job for Jenny. But this fashion show went on until the wee hours of the morning, and Rufus was A-okay with Jenny staying out that late without a chaperone. He was like, oh yeah, thanks Nate for bringing her home. How did you think she was going to get home? Dan was doing nothing that night, aside from the fact that Vanessa wanted him to have a date night. But both of them should have been at the fashion show watching over Jenny.
Yeah.
Especially because while Jenny's grounded, the whole thing was you go to school, you are escorted from class to class, you have lunch with the principal, you go back to being escorted from class to class, and then you're escorted home. Yeah. And now it's...
But go to this fashion show on your own.
That was just the last episode.
And
Yeah, Dan absolutely should have been at that fashion show. It's not like he didn't know people there.
Yeah.
He absolutely should have been there, watching over Jenny. Anyway.
Yep. Dan's romantic date is takeout and pierogies in Vanessa's dorm room, but really it's his words that seal the deal for him. They kiss, and Gossip Girl begins her closing monologue.
Nope. This was... I would be so angry at Dan. If I were Vanessa, I'd be so angry.
No, let me show you exactly why you're right.
Thank you. Those are the words I want to hear. Thank you.
Yeah. No. I'm going to just lay out for you that you were right all along, and here's why.
Yeah.
Hey, maybe she just really likes to be right.
And it's funny.
It seemed to work.
Yeah.
Yeah. If someone promised me the most romantic date ever, and then did the same thing that I was just complaining about that I didn't want to do. And then said, but this is the most romantic date. I'd be like, all right, we're broken up now. Bye. Like, clearly I need more. Like,
Yeah.
I was so mad.
Yeah. But Dan being Dan.
Yeah.
Nate finds Serena on the street and the two kiss. Yeah, not much happens. They just kind of find each other.
Aw.
And Jenny is on her laptop reading a Gossip Girl blast entitled The Golden Couple, featuring a picture of Nate and Serena.
Golden Retriever couple.
So true.
But again, here you see Jenny plotting.
Yeah.
That you can see that she wants to get in between them.
Leave it alone, Jenny.
Yeah. She's so hurt.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it, though, because, I mean, Nate is just, like, constantly saving her. I mean,
yeah.
She can't help it. She can't help falling in love with him.
And the previous episode, when she looked him dead in the eye and said, well, you're not available. You know.
And yet he's still there.
And yet he's still there.
But it's not like he was there because he had a fight with Serena. He was there because he happened to be the one available.
Yeah, and saw her shoved into a cab.
Yeah.
Stay tuned for next week.
Yeah.
Jack is in Chuck's suite, drinking alone, staring out the window like Lex Luthor. Jack picks up his phone and calls Elizabeth in a last-ditch effort to get her to stay. Instead, Elizabeth is more disgusted by Jack than ever and hates herself for ever having loved him. Their party words imply that Elizabeth is really Chuck's mother, and as Elizabeth's car pulls away from the hotel, we see that she once again repaired the locket containing the picture of Bart and Elizabeth holding baby Chuck.
Please be gone forever.
This was so sad, though, because I had forgotten that she was actually his mom. And when she said, we faked it, I was like, oh yeah, makes sense, right? But she is actually his mom, and she did all of that to him. Because Chuck even says to her, my mom would never do this. And then she was like, well, I'm not your mom. I was like, okay, that makes sense. But then she is his mom, and she did that to him. And I was very sad.
Quite a roller coaster with her.
Yeah.
The other thing, Jack, right? The way Jack is upset that she's leaving and doesn't want her to, that he does actually seem to love this person despite being a horrible human being.
I think love is a little strong. I think he likes having her around, the convenience.
Yeah.
Having someone that, loves him and is willing to do anything, including betraying her own son for him.
Yeah. I mean, well, it is it is a green flag, if someone's willing to screw over my kids for me, that's a keeper.
He really loved me.
That's a keeper. Come on, Robin.
He definitely thought that she could be useful as a pawn later on to manipulate Chuck. But then she tells him, I told him he wasn't my son. And then he was like, okay, never mind.
Peace.
Yeah.
You're like, you're useless. Bye.
Blair is hanging a Columbia pennant in her dorm room when Chuck knocks on the door. It looks like Chuck and Blair are ready to go to war with Uncle Jack.
Yeah, this is my favorite. Chuck and Blair scheming.
Yeah.
Love them together.
And then Gossip Girl closes the episode with, if you are what you wear, you better dress the part you want. A few lucky ladies can do no wrong. Their looks, perfection. And they've got accessories to match. But most girls get tired of the same old look, and they'll do just about anything to get the hot new piece on their arm. And then there are those with no vision of their own, thieves of fashion that will steal the shirt off your back. And always remember, appearances can be deceiving, but whatever you wear, always dress to kill. XO, XO, Gossip Girl. And that is the episode.
Yeah.
What is coming next?
My number one prediction is, first of all, Jenny is going to go after Nate and Serena. Jenny's going to try to break them up and go for Nate. I also believe Blair is looking for a change of scenery. I think we might see her try to transfer to Columbia, that she definitely is more interested in and knows that she has potential minions and friends at Columbia.
Mm-hmm.
So that'd be interesting, except then we have Dan and Vanessa at NYU and Nate and Blair at Columbia, and we're back to having this separate show again, which we're already getting into with that couple.
Considering they never actually show class, I don't think that really matters. They're all going to school in New York.
Yeah.
You don't know if they don't show class?
They haven't yet. We're almost one full season into college years.
Yeah. I don't have I think we saw 2 high school class scenes. I think that there were only 1 or 2 the entire time they were in high school, and I think that at least one Mrs. Carr scene.
Outside. Yeah, they were like outside the classroom too.
Yeah.
They were in the hallway.
Yeah,
they weren't even in the classroom.
Yeah, there's no drinking at the schools, so they're not going to shoot there.
Clearly.
Any other predictions?
I have one.
Oh,
okay.
I think Callie is going to get her own spin-off show. No, I won't do predictions because obviously I've seen this.
The Callie Diaries.
The Callie Diaries. Those 2 were my big predictions. I'm gonna optimistically predict that we're done with Elizabeth at least for a while. I'm hoping so.
We never see that actress again.
Yeah. She's getting the Scott treatment.
Yes.
only with Scott, it's we'll never lose touch because we're a family. So yeah, that and my other big thing is Chuck and Blair are now going to war against Jack. So I'm gonna make this a 2-way thing. It is either going to be Chuck and Blair out scheme Jack and get the hotel back, or Chuck and Blair scheme against Jack to get the hotel back, but it breaks them up. So that's my other big thing, is that this split with Jack, that whatever it comes out to is going to be too costly to keep them together. That's I feel like they set such a bomb in the last episode with Blair being so supportive. I feel like that, even though that bomb seemed to be forgotten this episode, I feel like it's still ticking. Those are my predictions.
Let's get into segments. This week in fandom, we jumped into the Wayback Machine to travel to the fan forums from 2010.
Hello there, Peabody here. And this is the Wayback Machine for traveling through time. And this is my boy, Sherman. Speak, Sherman. Hello. Good boy.
Overall thoughts? They again liked the episode.
They love the soap operas.
Yeah.
The 2010 fans love the soap opera shit.
This show had a chokehold on everyone when it first came out. Like, everyone was watching this show. It was so popular. The fashion was inspired. Like, every single store carried fashions inspired by this show. I'm not surprised that people loved it.
Yeah. There's somebody that I'm friends with that we talked about having on the show at some point, but I don't know if she's ever really talked to us about it much. But it was exactly like you said, that her entire fashion sense was developed watching Gossip Girl. That just how much of an impact it had across the board. So, which is why we comment on the fashion of it, which my wife, again, thinks that the funniest thing to hear is me talk about fashion. But it was just so iconic that you can't not talk about it. And we can't not talk about Eric Damon, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we like to shout out Eric Damon, the fashion design, the director of the show, a lot because of, especially the first 2 seasons. This season hasn't been as eye-catching, I feel, as the previous 2.
Yeah.
But it still happens a lot.
Yeah, the wardrobe department, they were also very nice, and they worked really hard on everything. I've got lots of stories about that too.
Oh, cool.
So they also pointed out Agnes is kind of like Jenny's Georgina.
Yeah, I had that thought of she's a Georgina wild card.
But like Georgina goes after Serena.
Yeah.
And Agnes goes after Jenny.
Yeah.
And they feel bad for Jenny, but they were already ready to attack her when she inevitably tries to steal Nate. So they're ready to pounce on her. But someone did point out that Serena lost the moral high ground on that bar stroll on the pilot, and also just a few weeks ago was going after Tripp, who was a married man.
Yeah.
So maybe a little bit of karma on her part.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
And the potential Serena, Nate, and Jenny triangle dominated most of the discussion. But they also hated Jack and his evil facial hair.
He looks terrible.
Who wouldn't?
Yeah.
I don't know how Chuck's mom didn't realize that he was evil from that.
From the mustache.
From the bad hair. Like,
yeah.
Like, it's supposed to be a very fashionable show, and he shows up, and you're like,
Yeah.
And then a lot of Ed Westwick praise, as usual.
Mm-hmm.
Moving into the episode grade. It is my week to go first. So yeah, once again, not a great episode. The Jenny storyline was interesting, but definitely made me very uncomfortable at the end. I guess that technically can be considered good art, but yeah, it makes me realize that I am happy that they shoot these teen shows with 20-year-olds and not actual teenagers, because that kind of stuff just is uncomfortable to watch when they're actual teenagers.
Yeah, it really is.
So
yeah.
I ended up giving this one a D. Danielle, how did you grade the episode?
I had a hard time with this, but I think I'm going to give it a B+.
Okay.
For the reasoning I have is the acting I really enjoyed. Like we talked about throughout the episode, the lines that I thought could have been taken one way were acted very nicely and sincerely. Chuck with his emotion, Eleanor and Blair with their mother-daughter scenes, and that's why I gave it the B rating, and the plus is because I was in it.
Yeah, fair enough.
Fair.
Steve, what do you got?
Well, I mean, yes, the scene work by the extras in this was fantastical. Fantastic.
Thank you.
I mean, we have to really point that out. Great work, especially when you have the acting where you have to do it all expressive. You don't have the lines, and and it's all pure what you're bringing to the table. Phenomenal acting on the extras parts. I will say that.
Thank you.
I gave this episode a C-. I love Eleanor. I love her in every episode she's ever in. I love the fashion show episodes for the energy that they bring to the show and the recurring theme that they have. I hated Agnes. I hated the Agnes story. I hated the Dan and Vanessa storyline so much. I hated the Elizabeth and Jack storyline. These three main storylines, well, the two main ones, I hated how they were playing out. I loved the Blair storyline. The Blair storyline, her and Eleanor, the callback to Brandeis, Blair thinking to bring in call girls. It's so Blair. I loved that. And so that saved it from being a D to me. But that and like I said, the stellar scene work by the extras. So I went with a C-.
Moving over to Stockwatch. For me, I had going up Jack, because even though he's horrible and the worst, he is definitely succeeding in what he's trying to do. Eleanor, because she had artistic integrity and had a successful fashion show. Nate, because he saved the day. I mean, there was very close to be another nothing episode to Nate, but he did come through at the end. I did give Dan up because he basically, even though he was oblivious, he was basically living the male pornographic fantasy. So good for him, I guess. And then Rufus, because for once he gave good advice to both his kids in this episode, I thought. And Jenny, even though things almost ended terribly, she did come out kind of ahead in the end. Danielle, who do you have going up?
Callie going up, definitely. I think we're going to see big things from her in the future. I can't get over it. I'm sorry. Who is
No.
she? The Columbia
She's
girls.
Gossip Girl.
Yeah, she's Gossip Girl. Well, we're done now. We don't have to do the rest of the podcast.
Yeah, we're good.
You guessed it. The Columbia girls definitely going up. I feel like we're going to see some more of them. Blair going up just because I always love her and always. I think I sort of had Chuck both going up and down, or I guess staying neutral then, because he was devastated by his mom and losing the hotel, but he thrives on having a plan and scheming. So I think we're going to see him rise a bit more in the upcoming episodes as well. And Nate going up because he's just a great older brother. Everyone else was just meh.
Steve?
All right. First of all, I had Eleanor going up and Blair. I thought that even though Blair kind of had a down episode, it was such an uplifting end for her. I felt like she got the up. I had Nate going up, also good guy, saving the day. I had Brandeis going up, another successful episode for Brandeis. She has won both episodes that she's been in. I had Jenny going up for shitty stuff happened to her, but she came out on top in that episode. I have Jack going up because Jack is winning right now. I also had the Columbia girls going up because anytime someone's on the screen, we give them the opportunity. They're fair game to get stock, and I love the opportunity to give stock to somebody who's on our podcasts. So the Columbia girls, for sure.
For me, going down, I had Chuck because, he's just getting kicked in the nuts all episode pretty much. And while Blair did have her personal gains, I think she's just too tied into the Chuck storyline. So I had her going down. Elizabeth, because she is the worst mom ever on a show of horrible moms. Agnes, because she is pure evil. Callie for going along with it. And since he was mentioned, I will give Damien a down because he lost his drugs.
Yeah.
Danielle, who do you got going down?
I mean, basically all the same. Definitely Elizabeth. She's a horrible mother. Agnes is evil, but she's not good at it.
She's not.
She's not good at it.
She's criminal at it.
Yeah. She's probably the worst. Yeah. So Agnes going down. And what's the guy's name? Caldwell's?
Oh,
Conwell.
Cornwell.
Cornwell. Cornwell's going down.
Steve, who do you got going down?
I had Vanessa going down for obsessing over the whole episode. I have Dan going down because he's with Vanessa. I have Chuck going down because, like you said, just everything kind of sucked for Chuck this episode. I had Elizabeth going down because, like you two already covered, horrible. Conwell going down for losing out on a great business opportunity. And I'm going to send Agnes down as well for just being a terrible criminal.
All right, that is it for Stockwatch. Moving over to Best Outfits.
But here's the best outfits from the last episode we've seen.
For me, I like a good scarf game, so I gave it to Serena in her black dress and the big red poofy scarf. Danielle?
My favorite outfit of the episode was Agnes's dress at the fashion show, so the one that Jenny was sewing. But I meant to mention this before, really loved, I don't know if you could see it, but I remember being obsessed with it when we were filming. Blair had a bow tied into her hair. So her hair was actually tied in a bow shape. It was on the left side of her head. And I was obsessed with that. I just thought it was the cutest detail, a way to accessorize your hair by just tying your own hair into a bow. So Agnes's dress
back and check that out.
Yeah,
and Blair's
awesome.
hair bow. Yeah. Which
That's awesome.
on the left side, by the way, not the right.
Steve, who do you got?
I had Jenny in her outfit at the show tonight. I like, it was very classic Jenny, the fishnets, the red skirt, and especially at the end, because as Robin will say, the coat game, the outerwear game on this show is so great. And Jenny had that really cool, like, big puffy jacket at the end too.
So that is it for our segments. All we have left to do is some plugs. But first, Danielle, thank you again for joining us.
Yes, thank you. It was great having you.
Yes. And is there anything you would like to plug at this time?
Yes. So I currently have a podcast out as well. It's called Still the Podcast, about all the crap still going on in the entertainment industry for female identifying artists. So as you can tell, I am in the industry. I'm an actor, producer, background artist, stand-in on Gossip Girl as well, photo double. And yeah, so my co-host Corey Hunt and I talk about all the things that we as female identifying artists face every day on set. How sometimes we're picked just because we're wearing a ruffly shirt. Mm-hmm. And, you could be the best actor in the world, but you're wearing the wrong shirt. So yeah.
Yeah,
definitely check that out. I've listened to a few episodes. Good stuff.
Thank you.
I listened to the episode where you talk about Blake Lively's new movie, It Ends With Us.
Oh, It Ends With Us. Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Steve, you plugging anything this week?
I am. So as I mentioned previously, I was cast in a feature-length film called Best of This. And if you go to some of my socials at Steve Marchand at Instagram, at Steve Marchand on Instagram or TikTok, Steve.Marchand, Marchion. We are currently having a casting call for Best of This. We're looking for a few more parts to flesh it out. It'll be shooting in Philadelphia, outside of Philadelphia in the fall. So if you check out my socials and you're interested in auditioning for this film, please get in touch with us and we'll send you in the right way and set you up. Outside of that, I don't think I really have much going on. You can find me at, like I said, Instagram and TikTok, Steve.Marchand, Marchion.
All right. Nothing really for me to plug this week. Just go check out Still the Podcast. And if you want to follow me on social media, you can find me on Instagram and Blue Sky at Hot Capicola. That's HOTCAPICOLA. And if you want to follow the podcast, you can find us on Instagram, Threads, TikTok at Non-Judging Breakfast Pod. You can also find links to our Discord server, our Patreon, and others things on our website, nonjudgingbreakfastpod.com.
And if you would like to send us an email, we would love to hear what you have to say, and we'd maybe even read it here on the air. You can send us an email at nonjudgingbreakfastpod@gmail.com. Also, while you're listening, if you could give us a like or subscribe or follow, and also leave a comment on Spotify or Apple podcasts, that really helps us with our visibility. And finally, tell your friends what you're listening to. Make us your water cooler talk and go ahead and get back into Gossip Girl and see what we have to say about it.
And we will be back for our next episode, Season 3, Episode 17, Inglorious Bastards.
I love
two
that.
S's.
Love it.
But
so good.
God damn it. Once again, that means that Inglorious Bastards is over 20 years old. It just makes me like,
yeah.
I was in my 20s when that came out.
The episode description reads, Chuck and Blair are faced with the most difficult decision they have ever faced as a couple. Serena has a surprise birthday plan for Nate, but Jenny does her best to sabotage Serena's efforts. Dan and Vanessa's new relationship hits a bump in the road.
Oh my God, I just had a new prediction. Jack is going to indecent proposal her. Oh my God.
Who, Jenny?
No, Blair.
Blair.
Jack's going to indecent proposal Blair to get the hotel back to... Oh,
I
gross.
guess we'll see. Until next time, you know you love us.
XOXO.
Gossip Girl.
Every time you walk away, run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away, run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away, run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Oh, it seems I'm walking right to your door. My heart's still resting, looking for something more. Are you ever gonna see everything you mean to me? I'm trying really hard to believe. Every time you walk away, run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away, run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away, run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Never feels right when I'm out here on my own. I left last night and it feels like way too long. Are you ever gonna see everything you mean to me? I'm trying really hard to believe. Every time you walk away, run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away, run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away, run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Come back to me. Smile and you'll make my life complete. Every time you walk away, run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away, run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away, run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away, run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away, run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away, run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away, run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away, run away, you take a piece of me with you there.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did my camera die?
No, it's charging.
Oh no, what happened? New recording track created. Changes in my devices. Oh god, guys, I'm so sorry. Hold on one second. I'm the worst. I'm the worst.
Honestly, you're not.
Well, that's good to know. All right, let me try and turn this off and on again.
Have you heard an episode with Shannon?
Uh-oh. Okay, let's see.
No, I have to make sure Shannon hears that. So I'm not saying that behind her
cut
back.
that out. Cut that out. Actual recording is highest quality. Oh, guys, I'm so sorry. I've disappeared.
Well, we still got your voice, so let's just let's wrap it up. We're
Okay,
almost
sorry.
Yeah, no, we're right at the finish line.
Yeah.
I'll give you a headshot to put over.